Chapter 7. The doctor's voice was steady, too steady, like she had practiced it 100 times. "Alaina," she said gently, "you're having triplets." Triplets. What should have been the most joyous news of my life felt like the scariest thing I'd ever heard. The room swayed. I felt my heartbeat in my ears. I looked down at my body, still soft, still swollen, still aching, and tried to imagine it stretched even further, carrying 3 lives inside of me. 3. I had no idea where I'd go when I left the hospital. The nurses let me keep the pictures: baby A, baby B, and baby C. Little beans with fluttering hearts. I couldn't stop staring. Not because I understood it, but because it didn't feel real yet. I had proof in my hands, and still, I couldn't make any sense of it. I was still lying in the hospital bed, belly strapped to monitors, photos clutched tight in my trembling hands, when Gabe walked into the room. He didn't say a word at first. I passed him the image, his eyes fixed on the paper, and for a long time he just stared, swallowed hard. His forehead tensed, his jaw locked. I could see the storm gathering behind his eyes. 1,000 words trapped behind clenched teeth, but none of it came out. He handed me a slip of paper with a phone number. "Call me when you're being discharged," he said. "I don't have a phone," I whispered. "I don't have anything here with me." He paused, nodded once, then turned and walked away, tucking the ultrasound picture in his pocket. Gone. The next morning, I woke to a woman standing beside my bed. Victoria Stone, Gabe's wife. She was calm and composed, wearing clothes that smelled like citrus and leather. Her presence filled the room with a quiet authority. Not angry, not cruel, just immovable. She handed me a cell phone and a folded piece of paper. "You will come to the house," she said, "this address. Bring a family member or a friend for support." She locked eyes with me, not unkind, but unshakably firm. "You'll be discharged this week. You'll come 1 week from today at 7 p.m. Don't forget to bring someone." Then she turned and walked away without another word, like it was already decided, like she already knew the path that I had no idea how to walk. I was stunned, shaken, floating. I had no job, no phone, no cards, no cash. I knew what would happen in the church. I'd seen it before: the quiet shunning, the fading texts, the vanishing smiles, the disappearing acts of love. You don't get caught up in sin and stay welcome. I had no one left, except Jack. I reached out to Trisha, my yoga instructor, and when she answered, I broke down, just sobbed. I couldn't even speak. She waited, held silence, and gently said, "I'm coming to get you. You'll stay with me until you get your ducks in a row." And just like that, I had someone, a friend. I told her about Jack, how worried I was. Gary wouldn't be kind to him. Not now, not ever again. When I was discharged, the doctor gave me all the rules. No stress, no lifting, lots of rest. 3 tiny heartbeats now depended on my every move. And then Trisha showed up. She brought me comfortable clothes, a warm smile, and a kind of strength I'd never known in another woman before. Steady and unapologetic, loving without pity. We went to the house. I packed quietly. We took Jack. We left. She drove me straight to a lawyer's office. She already had contacts. She knew what I needed. She knew what questions to ask. She empowered me. And when I hesitated, she leaned in and said, "Come on now, Mama Bear. What you gonna do now?" For the first time since I found out I was pregnant, someone made me feel excited about the little ones growing inside of me. Comfortable in Trisha's beautiful home, we began to talk about next steps. Not survival plans, but possibilities. She invited over a few friends, women of all ages, some with kids, some a bit older like her. She gave them a brief version of my story, and to my surprise, they didn't flinch. No judgment, no gasps, no awkward silences, just warmth. "Yeah," one of them said, sipping tea, "these things happen and life goes on." Another added, "Well, it is what it is for as long as it is. Everything's temporary. You'll get through this feeling you are feeling right now, and one day you'll take all the emotion out of your decisions, and that's when you know you're healing." And in that moment, something softened. I had people. Not perfect ones, not holy ones, just real ones. And real, I was learning, was more than enough. Chapter 8. That might have been the biggest surprise of all. No, scratch that. This whole thing felt like a chaos storm, and I was just starting to find the calm inside of me. I stayed quiet in Trisha's home, watching and listening more than speaking to the woman who came and went. Were nothing like the ones I grew up around. They were open and relaxed, wildly different from each other. Some divorced, some married to men, a few to women. Some wore long skirts and knitted shawls. Others wore jeans with tattoos crawling down their arms. One quoted Rumi, another joked about politics, another talked about moon circles. None of them needed me to believe in what they believed, and none of them asked me to explain myself. They just accepted me, swollen belly and cracked spirit, messy past and all. One brought me a soft-covered journal and said, "This is for you to write down what you're feeling right now, not what you think you should feel." Another placed a second journal in my lap and said, "This one's for them. Write to the babies. Let them know who you are, even if you're not sure yet." Their compassion was the kind that didn't try to fix anything, just a steady presence, like light through branches, helping me find my way out. I reached out to my mother, let her know my new number. I messaged as many siblings as I could, hoping someone might soften, hoping someone still saw me as more than a scandal. No one replied, except Levi, my oldest brother. The one who left when he was just 18, barely a man, escaping a home and a system that didn't have space for who he was. I hadn't seen or heard from him in years, but he came to Trisha's. And seeing him again, tall, lean, his once dark hair now streaked with silver, made me feel something I hadn't felt in a long time, safe. We sat at the kitchen, side by side, cups of peppermint tea growing cold, as we talked for hours. Or rather, he talked, I listened, and when I finally dozed off mid-conversation, he stayed. He just sat there quietly holding space for me. Later, as I stirred from a nap, I found him still there, leafing through one of the journals that I hadn't started yet, the blank one meant for the babies. "Alaina," he said softly, "I need to tell you something." I sat up, I looked at him. I left home, the family, the church, because I'm gay. I didn't even blink. "I'm not judging anyone anymore, Levi," I said, smiling as I gently rested my hand on his shoulder. "Least of all you." He nodded, a quiet breath of relief passing through him. But then he paused again, his fingers tapping slightly on the table. His eyes flickered towards mine. "There's something else," he said, "something big. Mom never told you. You and I and Caleb, we have a different father." My heart stopped. "What?" "You were only a year old when Mom remarried. You were just a baby when our real dad, died in a car crash. He was on his way to the hospital the night you were born. I was 5. Caleb was 3. I stared at him, my throat dry, my mind spinning. "You have real grandparents, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews. I found them, Alaina. I found them all. They're not perfect, but they're real. They're open, and they're so much fun." I swallowed hard. "Why didn't you tell me?" He looked down. I tried, but I was shunned, just like you are now. When I reconnected with them, Mom told the others it was dangerous, that they weren't godly. She made sure nobody talked about it again. But I had to go. I had to know where we came from. I thought I'd wait until you were ready, and now I think you are. My head was reeling too much, too fast. Triplets, Gabe, Victoria. Now this. The whole side of my life had been hidden, scrubbed clean like it never existed. I couldn't tell if I felt betrayed or relieved, or maybe both. "I'm sorry," Levi said softly. "I didn't mean to drop it all at once." No, I said, wiping at my cheeks. Don't be sorry. It's the truth, and I want all truth right now, even if it hurts." He gave me a long look, his eyes warm. "You'll be okay, sis. You're already doing what most people wouldn't have the courage to do. I asked him if he'd come with me the next day to Gabe and Victoria, as I need support and Victoria would be away. He nodded without hesitation. You need more support? He grinned. I'll bring my husband. I gasped, really? Yeah, his name is Leo, he said, his eyes lighting up. We'll pick you up for breakfast in the morning. You can come to our place for a bit, and then together we'll end up all where we're supposed to be at 7 p.m. The next morning, Levi picked me up and I met Leo for the first time. Leo got me. He was raised with 4 sisters, with all of whom he was a supportive brother and uncle to his nieces and nephews. He made such an effort to get to know me. I felt so connected to him after spending the day with both of them in their home and in such a lovely, supportive atmosphere. I felt ready and supported for the big meeting. Levi, Leo, and I stepped out of the car at the address Victoria had given. It wasn't a house. It was like a compound. The laneway was long, winding through tall trees, and I couldn't see the main house until we'd driven a while past the gate. The road spiraled gently, revealing glimpses of other dwellings farther back, cottages maybe, or guest houses. There was a large stone fountain in front of the main house. Its mist was catching the light and landing cool on my skin. My belly felt like it had doubled in weight, not from the babies, but from nerves. I was so anxious I thought I might pass out again. An older woman met us outside. She didn't speak, just nodded quietly and motioned for us to follow her through the large wooden front doors. Inside, she led us to a long dining table and asked us to sit. A pitcher of water sat in the center with 3 glasses, already glistening with condensation. Although I had just met Leo, he picked up on my emotions immediately. When my breathing started to shake, he gently tapped my hand, whispering soft, calming words using a rhythmic tap, 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 like Tricia had shown him, and it helped a little. Then the door opened. Chapter 9. Gabe, Victoria, and 2 older women entered. One of them I recognized, the woman who had let us in. Gabe introduced her as his mother. The other woman seated beside Victoria was her mother. Victoria was, as always, stunning, composed, regal, her head held high, her presence commanding. She wore crisp linen and pearls like armor. Every inch of her said, I'm not here to fall apart. Gabe showed no emotions. Not in his face, not in his body. He looked like a man attending a meeting at a boardroom table, not a man who'd once made art and music with me on the beach, who had touched my skin like it meant something. It had been just over 4 months since I last saw Gabe. I thought I'd be angry or shaken, and I was, but I was also strangely blank. I wanted to say so many things. Why did you disappear? Why did you take the picture of our children and leave me in that hospital bed without saying a word? But the words never came. The air in the room felt heavy and curated, like every moment was being measured. I could feel the judgment, or maybe I just assumed it. Either way, I reached under the table and took the hands of the 2 men beside me, Levi on my left and Leo to my right. Their quiet support kept me upright. Their warmth tethered me to the moment. How had my life changed so completely in just over a week? Victoria spoke first. This meeting is not to place blame or guilt or shame on anyone, she said, her voice cool but steady. We all have a role in this mess. As we adults, we will now do what is best for everyone, but most importantly, best for the children. I nodded silently, but something stirred within me. Yes, I thought, we will do what's best for all children. Not just the ones you already have, mine, my children too, the 3 growing inside of me. They're part of this family now, and whether anyone likes it or not. She continued, Alaina, you currently have no stable place to live. Gabe is purchasing a small home for you and the children. The cabin is already sold, and he is actively looking for a property that will suit your needs. I opened my mouth. Where is the house? You will be notified, Victoria replied sharply. It will be in Gabe's name, and you will live there. Don't I get a say in where I live? I asked, keeping my voice steady. No, you do not, she said. Time will heal some of the wounds that are so raw right now. So please do your best to be thoughtful of the emotions around you. Alaina, we are trying, even for you. Even for me? like I was some stray dog they decided to take in. Then the older woman beside Gabe spoke. Your children will call me Lola. You may too. The woman beside Victoria. Your children will call me Oma. You're welcome to do the same. The pauses between the voices were long and awkward, like everyone is afraid to say what they really meant, like we were all reading from a script that none of us quite believed in. Then Levi cleared his voice. May I ask a question, he asked. Please do, Gabe responded, his first word since entering. How do you see parenting happening between you and Alaina? I held my breath. It was something I hadn't even allowed myself to think about. The idea of co-parenting with somebody who had vanished at the most vulnerable moment of my life felt like trying to plan a dance with a ghost. Victoria answered before Gabe could speak. Her voice was too sharp at first. She consciously tamed it. Since we assume Alaina will be nursing, she said, there will be short visits at first. We will allow time for our sons to bond with their siblings. Later, the children will grow. They will spend more time here. She glanced at Gabe. We hope to create all of this without lawyers. She turned back to me. Also, Alaina, your current job is not sufficient. You'll need to do more to be a good mother to your triplets. My spine straightened. We'll help with childcare and the costs associated with furthering your education, Victoria continued. Your old college credits can be used towards becoming a kindergarten teacher. That way you'll have more time with the children. She slipped a paper across the table. Here is the schedule. Put off was an understatement. Who are you, I asked, holding back tears, to tell me what I should do with my education? I saw her flinch, ever so slightly, but I didn't stop. I think you're the married woman who had sex with my husband and became pregnant and is now sitting in my home at my table discussing how our future is going to work. She blinked slowly, inhaling slowly. We've discussed this, she said. If you look at the timing and the logistics, the possibilities, you'll see it's a sound plan. My back was up. My heart was thudding in my chest. Okay, I said, rising shakily from my chair. I need to go. Thank you for your time. I was unnerved, unsettled, and for a brief second, righteously furious. The heat in my belly wasn't just from the babies anymore. It was the fire of somebody remembering she still had a voice. Then Victoria spoke again. Her voice didn't rise. It didn't falter. Even for today, you are forgiven and we move forward. Yes, I thought again as I turned towards the door, we move forward, not just for your family, but for mine. For the children we didn't plan, but are here anyway. For the love and laughter and the chaos we'll bring into this world, and also maybe even to yours.